Gertie says, "Hello, Luke. Would you mind explaining to me when I put in the right way not or no in a sentence? For me, it's a little bit confusing. Thank you so much." Hello, guys. Nice to see you again. It's nice to see you too, Gertie. Thanks for the great question. This is an interesting one. Okay. Now, no and not. What's the difference between these? Right? Because we have no, just the word no, which is when we want to refuse or answer in the negative. So that's the first thing. When you're answering a question, if you want to say one word, a refuse, or to say the answer to what you said is negative, then we use just no, right? Now, sometimes we can add not with another thing, but we can give that example in a moment. So let's just talk about replies first. Okay, someone says, "Do you have time for lunch?" No. That's a clear answer. The answer to your question is negative. Okay? No. No. All right. Do you have time for lunch? Not. Okay, so we can't say not, right? Not is part of something else. Not is not a simple answer by itself. It's part of something else. Not negates another thing. It negates an adjective, for example, not good. It negates an action, for example, not going. Going, what is the opposite of that? Not going. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second, but let's just talk about our replies, all right? Now, we could say not really, when we want to answer in a more roundabout way. We want to say no, but we don't want to say it directly. Then we could add really. Not really. But the simple answer to that is no, to simply refuse, to simply give the negative. Now, generally speaking, when we use no, we're saying 0. And so after no, you will see a noun, but it's usually an uncountable noun, right? Not always, but usually an uncountable noun. For example, no time. I have no time. No idea. No idea. Now, we could say no ideas. That's countable, right? I have no ideas, right? I have no sandwiches. That's okay, right? But usually there we'll say I don't have any. I don't have any sandwiches. So usually if we're doing countable, we will say do not. It still has not there. I do not have any. Okay. So usually when we say an uncountable noun like money and time, we'll just put no. I have no idea. I have no time. I have no money. I have no interest in that. No in front of a thing, meaning 0. This no means 0. 0 of that noun. Usually, not always, but usually an uncountable noun, right? I'm sorry, I just have no patience for this right now. Please get out of my office. I have no patience. Okay? 0 patience. Could we replace it with 0? Yeah, sure. I guess. You can. We can say I have 0 patience. All right. So that's generally how we use no, the simple reply, and then the meaning of 0 before typically an uncountable noun. Then we have not, which is much more generally used as a negation to say the opposite of the next thing we say. Not hungry. I'm hungry. I don't know if you just heard my stomach. I'm hungry. I'm not hungry. Not the opposite of the following thing. Hungry, adjective, right? Not going. Going, action, right? ing, verb. Not that, the opposite of that, right? I don't have time. Now this one is more similar to the no one, but if we want to create a different way of saying it, we can put do plus not. I do not have time. But there we have the verb have, right? So if we have there in front of the noun, then we need to put not in instead of no. Because we don't say I do no have time. I do no have time. No, it doesn't make sense. I do not have time. But again, that is not in front of the verb. So not goes in front of the verb, not goes in front of the quantifier or the adverb, not goes in front of the adjective, not goes in front of all kinds of words, except for usually nouns. Because we don't say usually I have not home or something like that. Now, we might say I am not home. I am not home, but that's a slightly different story. That's a slightly different case. And that gets into an area of complication that maybe we can avoid for now. So let's just say, simply put, when we're using not, we're putting not in front of words like adjectives, adverbs, quantifiers, verbs, ing verbs, and we're simply saying the opposite of that whatever word we use. And then when we use no, we're putting no in front of typically a noun that's uncountable, or using it as a simple negative to a question that was asked or to a situation that was given. So hopefully that makes sense. Gertie, I hope that answers your question. Guys, if you have other questions, don't forget to leave them in the comments. Make sure you hit the like button or the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe and follow. And also check out my courses in the links in the description. Good question.